Alright, hey everyone, this is Shepard. Playing around in the new Monster Hunter Rise demo. Pretty good. Pretty good. I guess this is going to be my first video that I'm doing on it, so we'll get the first impressions right out of the way. So far, I'm pretty happy. Obviously, coming off of Iceborne, you know, we had an early demo beta experience for that, and everything felt great, and then everything probably felt pretty good for about the first 100 hours or so, but then like Clutch Claw was a little bit like, for lack of a better term. Now we've got wire bugs, and so, you know, A, it can be used for mobility, B, it can be used for these different wire bug moves. Very easy analog to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate in terms of how those kind of play out. You use a certain number of charges. You get to do a special, for the Gunlance at least, you can do a special move that gets you up in the air, refills your shells, and also reduces the cooldown on your Wyvern Fire. Other one is a very strong counter, which will recharge a little bit of your sharpness, and then you can do various moves out of it. You know, you can do a quick slam, or you can do a quick worm stake. And from what I can see from that so far, I'm okay. You know, Hunter Arts, if you built your character properly in Generations Ultimate, it felt like they were always available. But in Monster Hunter Rise, these things are used for a lot. So if you take a hit, you get to use your wire bugs to recover from the hit a lot faster. It's wire bug recovery, I think, something like that. Silk recovery. Or they can be used offensively. So, you know, these various attacks, whether it's a strong counter or whether it's, you know, the attack that, you know, flings you up in the air, you know, so you're not always going to have them available. Periodically, you'll find a little bug on the map, and it'll give you a third wire bug to use for about a minute or two. So this is like maybe my third or fourth try with Gunlance. It's a lot easier in reflection to see what I could have done there. So if I had used the strong, quick worm stake counter there, I would have gotten the worm stake into Mitsu's head. And then second, I wouldn't have like epically whiffed it as well. So for Gunlance in general, you know, not too much has changed from Iceborne. You know, the Gunlance, the worm stake seems to come out quite a bit faster, especially with the counter move. It also seems to do a little bit more damage. I don't know if we have capacity up or if normal type shelling just gives you 6 shells now. Kind of hard to say. But outside of that, if you're comfortable with Gunlance, you're probably going to be okay with this. Now, there's probably a lot of you that are only ever used to using either wide shelling or long shelling. Even more so to that, if you got started in the game a little bit late, you also might be used to the worm stake blast. So unless it's hiding behind a different worm skill in the game, we don't have that. So talking about a little bit Mitsu, you know, I can't say I'm an expert on Mitsu in Generations Ultimate. I mean, I fought it, but I can't say that, you know, I ever really mastered it. I've been fighting Mitsu a lot in this demo, so I understand it a little bit better now. And it's the sort of thing where once you understand, and this goes, of course, for a lot of monsters, but like once you understand, it sort of tells, it's a lot easier to start doing what it is you need to do. Oh, wow. Really good, very lucky dunk there. You know, in terms of ideal combos when on the ground, I don't think this is ever going to be a bad one. Really, the big change is getting that worm stake out as often as you can. Also, if you've got 2 wire bugs and you're empty on shells, and especially if your Wyvern Fire is off cooldown, it's also a pretty great idea to try and use your 2-cost ability to kind of get that coming back a little bit more often. Game's got Palamutes now, so these are little dog companions. It's like minion riding, except a lot more enjoyable. It was always like a little frustrating doing the the little writing in Iceborne, because sometimes the taxi would go places. Sometimes, you know, you'd be like, where are you going? Like, would go sniff a dead monster. Also, it was just like a little annoying, but a lot of times they would have like this kind of like weird startup where they'd sniff around a little bit as soon as they jumped on your back. There's nothing like that. It's almost immediate in terms of getting on your dog. Unless the dog is incapacitated, sometimes you'll find that the dog's going to take a couple moments to recharge. Cat seems okay too. I don't, you know, his healing ability, it feels a little less beneficial in that he doesn't like bring over a Vigor Wasp to you. He's just like throws bubbles wherever he happens to be. But I have seen him attack with bombs occasionally, and those seem like they actually do some okay damage. That one attack there when Mitsu goes on its back paws and slides forward, I think that's getting everybody, because it's very deceptive in where it's going to hit. Like, you almost always feel like it's just going to be straight ahead of the monster, but he actually has some damage that comes in from behind him. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like the bubbles he surrounds himself with, but it always kind of screws me up. That one. Right there. Got really lucky there, and that was kind of a wasted bug, but at least I didn't get hit. We'll see if I end up going for the worm stake here. I do. And I land it right on the head. That's a lot of damage. This would be a decent time to try and use the 2 worm stake cost, if I have the ability to. The 2 wire bug. Odd. I don't know what that hitbox was. That was weird. Okay, that was the quick worm stake going behind him. And you see, like, you get out of it super quick and you recover a little bit of sharpness. So, from what we can tell, there's going to be additional wire bug skills in the game that you'll be able to set based on your preference, just like in Generations. I'll say, though, just like based on just what they're giving us, the choices that we have in the demo for Gunlance actually feel pretty nice. Like, I could see myself wanting to choose these, absent other ones. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Blast Dash. It looks cool, but it never really does that much damage. And it also feels like really awkward to aim sometimes. Like, granted, it's a good gap closer, but you know, you've got wire bugs and stuff for that now. Yeah, so I guess the one thing that I like about it is it feels like you're encouraged to use both the shelling portion as well as the actual Gunlance portion, you know. Whenever there's a weapon in the game and it just feels like you're able to completely ignore a mechanic, it makes me sad. Like, pure slap lance or pure, what was it, long shelling? Just always felt very degenerate to me. like, yeah, you could do it, and especially for, like, the charge shelling or slap lance, like, that was pretty much the best way to play the weapon. It's rare to see somebody try and do a hybrid in Iceborne, only because it's like, how are you going to fit all your stuff, you know? All of your damage skills, then all of your artillery skills. Plus, usually you wanted, like, evade distance. I was getting really a lot of hits off there. I'm getting pretty lucky here, just in general, in terms of the number of staggers. That was over a lot faster than I remembered. One more thing I want to point out for the weapon. Wyvern Fire now has, like, active guarding frames on it. So it's even safer than it used to be in terms of being able to get it off consistently. So I think that's why it feels like the cooldown is a little bit longer on it. Because it's so powerful now and so much damage comes out of it. All right, so that's it for now. If you like this, you want to see it live, check me out over twitch.tv/SDShepherd. I've been streaming the demo pretty much every day. We'll be going through all the different weapons. I'm working on a video now, a longer video. I don't know if it'll be out within the next week, but it should be. Going over kind of how riding in the game works and how that entire new system is. Okay, so that's it. Until next time, the Shepherd saying good luck. Have a good hunt.